Welcome, genuine souls. So you'll find yourself here today because you've basically been like a private detective wondering what on earth is wrong with your partner, the person you've been going steady with, and it's led you here. Romantic narcissism, very serious condition, and I feel it's very important to point out to the majority of the public how they have unfortunately misunderstood the severity of narcissism, narcissistic disorder. Subscribe where you will get the latest videos on how to cope from coming out of a narcissistic relationship. You will get coping strategies, help with what to do next. I've told you about the cycle, it's always the same. I've told you about the traits. Now, regarding this word being watered down, most people believe it's somebody who's vain, egotistical, with inflated ego. And yes, this is true. Now, the person with the narcissistic disorder has a deep-bedded psychological condition. Now, the people with this condition often ruin the lives of people around them and genuine souls. MPD, very serious condition. People with 5 or more elements really need to be avoided at all costs. Now, regarding people believing that you can look at somebody and say, oh, they're a narcissist, this is a massive, massive misconception, okay? You cannot look at somebody and say they're a narcissist. Here's my examples. There's a true story on Netflix, Dirty John. Now, he had charisma, a lot of charisma. That's how he manipulated and worked on his projects, love projects, sources, whatever you want to call them. We've talked about that on past videos. Now, he would turn up all too often underdressed, a little bit scruffy, rough around the edges, where his, I'm going to say it, victims, because he ruined people's lives. They were always beautiful and successful, smart, that sort of thing. And this is another thing about narcissism. Quite often they can be unattractive and underachievers. It's their minds that are deluded. It's them that try to put on this superior mask and front. Then you have the opposite, a different sort of narcissist. They're all the same traits, all the same cycle, but this is the difference. This is how you can't look at somebody and say they're narcissist. You have Man Mc Hamish on YouTube. He had to have the best of everything, the best watch, the best car, the best clothes, everything. And he would go to any lengths to get it. He had bravado and charisma. Now, he fooled many businessmen and women, but he ruined a lot of genuine women's lives. He had a lot of love projects, sources, that sort of thing. So you cannot look at somebody and say they have MPD. It's them that is deluded. Doesn't matter what they look like, the condition is in their own minds. They like to have or feel superior. And I say it's not always the way they dress. They will have certain elements. They will lie. They will deflect the truth. They obviously are deluded. They have double standards. They are hypocrites. They will do anything to not feel vulnerable. It's called vulnerable aggression. They spend most of their time in a state of anxiety, paranoia, constantly on the lookout. Nobody must make them feel inferior. Is it inherited? They say 40 to 60% is genes. Most of it comes from childhood and negative communication with from the primary caregiver. They have been overlooked and disregarded. If, say, there was too much of it, say if all parents didn't look after their children properly, or the primary caregiver didn't give the children that solid foundation which is required for children, you end up with corrupt you could end up with like corrupt society and basically everything running amok, and there'd be lies, it would just be horrendous. So it's all about the children. It's giving them solid, good upbringings.